Greetings, scholars. I want to take a few minutes to talk to you about writing the critical analysis paper on day one. Remember, you don't want to write a paper all in one day because if you do that, you're going to put a lot of stress on yourself and you're going to create a lot of problems for yourself and you're going to miss a lot of the key details that you need to put into the paper. So, the first day you sit down to write the paper, you want to make sure that you've reviewed the guidelines and that you know what is required of the assignment. Because you know that this paper is going to be written in APA format, you want to go on and format the title page for APA. Remember, you're using the student sample, not the professional sample. So with the student sample, you are going to number pages, and I just need a simple page number in the top right-hand corner of your paper. You're going to center the title of your paper. For the APA paper, you can write longer titles. For this example, I'm using critical race theory. What are you talking about? You want to put your last name, you want to put comma first name, and you want to put the Department of English, uh, English 304 Advanced Composition, and you want to make sure that you watch out for the date and that you put the correct date here on the paper. Once you have the correct date for the paper on the title page, you simply want to move on to the first page. The first page of the critical analysis paper is, of course, page 2. You want to make sure that you are using the same title from your title page as the title for this page. And then one of the things that you want to do, you want to make sure that you go back to your directions and just copy and paste the section headings, copy and paste everything from the original topic and guideline sheet so that you have it here and you know that you don't leave out any sections. Okay. So once that's done, in day one, you should be able to do your title page. You should be able to copy every section from your handouts, the topic and guideline sheet, and you should be able to get through section 1. So look at this. You're going to write section 1 for the paper on day 1. Focus on what is critical race theory. Keep the section heading. This section heading is required. So Roman numeral number 1, section 1, you can get rid of the Roman numeral simply by backspacing and making sure that everything is double spaced. So now you have your section 1. You know what you're going to be writing about. What is critical race theory? Well, look at this, right? Roman numeral number 1 here is going to be a paragraph. A is going to be a standalone paragraph by itself. In this paragraph, you want to focus on just telling the reader the information about the work. What is the title of the work? Who are the authors of the work? What is the publication information of the work? What is the statement of topic and purpose for the title of the work, right? All of this information can be taken from the chapter 1 of the critical race theory that you read about by Delgado and Stefani. In the second paragraph, B, look at this. B is its own paragraph. In 5 to 8 sentences, focus on writing me a good definition of critical race theory. Okay. What is critical race theory? Okay. How do you view critical race theory? How are others possibly misinterpreting what critical race theory is? Focus on developing a paragraph, 5 to 8 sentences, that keys in on the definition and the many definitions and the many misinterpretations of the definition of critical race theory. From there, you want to move on to historical information about critical race theory. Again, this information is in the chapter 1 introduction that you've read. This information, you just want to hit the highlights of the history of critical race theory. Who are its founders? Who are what primary movements does critical race theory encompass? What is the goal of critical race theory? Where can we find critical race theory? Give me just brief 5 to 8 sentences, write a paragraph, 5 to 8 sentences discussing what critical race theory is or the historical information about critical race theory. The last thing that you want to do in the introduction in section 1 on day 1, okay, write the introduction for the paper, right, with the thesis statement that focuses on the work, okay. You want to write an introduction for the work. In the introduction, okay, you can combine D and Roman numeral number 2, okay. Write a summary reaction of the work, focus on the strengths and weaknesses of the chapter, and you can put your thesis statement there. So if I were you, I would just combine these 2 paragraphs. I would just combine these 2 paragraphs into one. So look at this. On day 1, you should be able to do a title page with a working title. You are free to change your title before you turn the paper in, right? But go on and format. This is APA. APA requires a title page. Go on and copy all of the section information that you are required, all of the sections that you're required to write. Go on and copy that into the document. Make sure that you put the title of the paper on the first page. Make sure that you have section 1 on the first page. Section 1 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs if you combine D and Roman numeral number 2. So that is what I want you to focus on. And make sure that you write my instructions down. And remember, how many paragraphs will section 1 be? It's going to be 4 paragraphs. You're going to focus on the background information. A becomes a paragraph by itself. A, 1, 2, 3, and 4. B becomes a paragraph by itself. C becomes a paragraph by itself. And if I were you, I would combine D and Roman numeral number 2 into one paragraph so that you're focusing on your reaction, the strengths and weaknesses of the chapter, and giving me your thesis statement for the paper. Okay. Section 1, day 1, title page, and section 1. Okay. Get started on writing the first section, section 1. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to email me. I will be happy to answer your questions. That is all for now. I will see you in the next video for day 2 of writing the critical race theory paper or the critical analysis paper.